What? We live, Trey.
Oh, never mind. Definitely can't say
Well,
now.
She trying to set you up.
Right. I definitely can't say it now. Let's just say if you know the song, then leave. Then
leave. What?
this the song called "Then Leave." And it's
She know it.
the song that I was gonna say, but I can't say it.
Clearly, I know it because I'm ratchet like it.
Okay. Are we live on Facebook?
I bet you
Who's my Facebook person?
We on there.
Okay. Let me
Yeah, bro.
mute that.
Everything copacetic.
Not copacetic. I could be real honest with whoever looking. I don't even know how to spell that word.
That was our team name. We had played a game last season. That was our team name.
It sure is. It sure was. And I still don't know how to spell that word.
I think it was
fine by me.
Because me and Dashia was D&D, Dynamite and Delicious. I like how you ignore me.
Ignored you.
Oh, I remember that because y'all was like, never mind.
We've been playing that jelly bean game.
Oh, and I said I want me and Megan name to be the Hootie Who's.
I was like, what the world?
That is not what we agreed upon. Came out. We gonna be Hootie. No, we're not. We are not.
Hey, Jakira, thanks for joining us for now. Hopefully, as Cassondra said, get our viewers up. We have some.
I am weak.
Then we'll start.
Oh God, who's this? Oh, that's Jakira. Who else watch? I see 5 people.
Yeah, I know, but I can't see it.
Hey, y'all, please comment and let us know y'all in there.
Number. Yeah, thank you, because I won't know unless, because this doesn't show me for some reason.
We want y'all to get recognized. This is Sunday, so let's recognize all our visitors.
Y'all boy,
members. Boy, I used to hate that. Y'all ever been in church? Y'all know good and well y'all been a visitor. And the pastor
the visitor stand up.
And y'all just sit there and the pastor be like, I know some more visitors.
Hey, Timindy. I hope I said that right.
You did.
You right there in the blue shirt. I didn't recognize you. Who you was?
It's gonna be yeah. So Trey, now that she's heard it, she's very proud that the both of you know how to say her name because they don't know how to say her name.
Oh, me and him? Oh.
Yes. She's very proud. Cassondra, I feel like you're gonna be the task.
What? I'm sorry. I was laughing at the church thing. I missed it.
Who, T?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Timindy. It's a thing, and I'm like.
I know it.
I was like, ooh, I'm not even gonna put myself out there like that because I thought it was. So, because, ooh, child.
Oh man, I messed this up. Okay.
Oh, y'all,
let's try this again. You got what?
I lost.
If you are watching, please comment because for some reason I cannot see. It just shows us the number for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. So please put your name in there so we can shout y'all out or whatever.
Those things they don't show us nothing, but Jakira Jones is watching with you. That's all I see.
Hey, Jakira.
Yeah.
Hey, Timindy.
I feel like about the monkey, y'all.
I mean, we could just talk.
Boy, I hear that term in years, man.
What happened?
How about the monkey?
I said I heard that in years.
Man,
I don't like this. I don't know what the name of these medicines is.
Why you got that hoodie on? Take the hoodie off.
Because I was cold a minute ago.
Yeah, spicy honey. I ain't never heard of that.
No, she did not put that in there. I told her absolutely not to that. I don't know who told her to get that. She just be doing
so.
Anyway,
last week.
Crabtree.
So let me tell y'all about
last Auntie Lisa
in Tennessee. Let me find this thing what did I post up here? Okay, so this is what it says from Facebook. For anyone wondering how Eastern Tennessee is handling COVID, we got a tiger on the loose we're trying to catch with a bear trap filled with chickens on a plane, and a plane landed on Interstate 640. we have hydrogen peroxide jugs given to the public on accident. And there's a wallaby loose 45 minutes away from me.
Oh, man.
And then there's a bear in a roller coaster also 45 minutes away from me.
What is going on?
And a snake on the loose about an hour away from me.
That's some Jumanji type stuff. Seriously.
And then the last line said, we have entered into redneck level 40 of Jumanji 2020. All of that is actually happening right now.
I'm like, what is next?
You staying out there?
Huh?
And you staying out there?
Well, I have to work. So here we are, or here I am.
Let's look into relocation effective immediately.
Okay. Because as far as me visiting you, not would all that happen. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
What the nickname for Knoxville is?
You don't want my name.
Sam.
I call it Canuck.
Canuck, like a knife.
Hard Knocks life.
Hard knocks life, period.
Yeah.
So y'all, I think I legit lost a dog.
Tucky?
How?
Man, she ain't my dog. I don't know what y'all want from me.
Okay. Do y'all want to go ahead and get started?
Yes, let's move forward with.
All right. So thank you for those of you guys who have joined us so far. If you don't already listen to our podcast, you should go ahead and stop now. Go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts and follow us and subscribe. Or go to YouTube and we're YBM Chat Podcast and you can listen there. But at the start of every episode, we have a segment called Boy Ye, which just gives us time to address the things that are happening locally, nationally, or globally. And obviously, we have a lot going on this year, but even within the past, week or so. The biggest thing I feel like that has been on everyone's minds is the fact that, what's his name? Attorney General of Louisville, Daniel Cameron, decided to not charge any of the officers involved in shooting and killing Breonna Taylor, which is absurd. I think the only one of them, the one who was fired, I can't think of his name right now, he got charged for like endangerment because some of the bullets that he shot hit the other apartments, but none of them were charged. So I will open that up to you guys to kind of share your feelings on that.
Let me add on to it. From what I saw, the day that it was happening, it was endangerment, possibly 5 years of prison, and I think it was like a $15,000 bond or bail, which is still nothing at all.
Oh, he got out.
So it's. I'm trying to wash my mouth because my aunt watching it. So.
Oh God.
I'm frustrated.
Parental advisory, y'all.
I mean, I am grown, but I'm in my mama's house.
Explain.
It's ridiculous. Because I think they was mad at the attorney general for, he was doing some other stuff out there that could have just been put off versus what was going on with this case. And I'm like, y'all got so much going on with this case that y'all don't want to charge people the way that they should be charged. And now they just out here doing what they got to do or what they want to do. It's just a load of crap because y'all went in their house. What, didn't they go there because they assumed a drug dealer was there, but they hadn't lived there in like years or something?
Yeah, like they was looking for somebody else apparently.
They were looking for her ex who was involved in something, and they thought that he had been having some kind of illegal activity going on where she lived, but obviously that was not the case because after everything was said and done, they didn't find anything that shouldn't have been there. So.
And didn't they say they already had the guy they were looking for during all that anyway? So it's like, what's the point of even doing all this?
I don't know.
So I think I got more upset because two things. They said that they already like started boarding up cities and stuff because they knew what was gonna happen. Like they knew the judge wasn't gonna find them or have them as guilty. And then two, I felt like because her family got paid so much money, I felt like that was just given to them to shut them up. Like, okay, you got your money. These officers aren't charged. Everybody wins. Everybody happy. And it's like, now they're looking at us like, well, why aren't y'all satisfied? The family got the family got paid, but it's like, there's no amount of money that can bring that girl back, especially if it was, she didn't do anything at all. She didn't do anything wrong. So I feel like they just, like, take your money and shut up and be happy.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's really disheartening about the situation, because literally how Cassandra just said it. I mean, like, you know, they gave the family their money and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, no justice was served. You know, like it's just really disheartening to see that. And of course, like, you know, being on this podcast with three beautiful and established Black women, it's just like, wow. Because, you know, and I say this all the time, when it's like any other African American, that could happen to any one of us, you know. So like I said, it's just really a sad situation. I'm really like hurt by it more so. And then going back to Megan's point, where she mentioned the Attorney General was like doing other stuff instead of focusing on the situation. And I think around that time he had like a whole engagement party. Yeah, and I
know he's married to a Karen, which does not surprise me at all.
And I was just about to get into he's married to a whole Karen. So, and then I went on his Instagram page after everything, like, kind of like, you know, blew up and stuff like that. And people are ripping him to shreds all over his content on social media. Like pictures that have been posted for like years ago, they're calling him, well, basically making death wishes against him and stuff like that. So I'm like, this is, yeah, I mean, shoot. It's a very serious situation. So
what I need to do is see if my girl Angela Rye dug into him.
I'm waiting on her. That's what
so she hasn't said anything. Okay, that's who I want to hear. Is Angela Rye. She shouldn't be playing no games. Like, what did you say earlier, Dashia? Like, they were trying to say they didn't have evidence or something for him doing it, or what was the against her?
Like, why didn't they charge him?
Yeah, because then you said they didn't have evidence. I'm like, jeez.
No, so they didn't. Okay, so they're saying that they didn't charge him because it was justified because the what's his name, Kenny, her boyfriend, fired first. However, he fired because he just thought it was a random person breaking into his home, which he's licensed to carry, and Kentucky is a stand your ground state. Therefore, y'all busting into his, you know, where he's his residence. Of course, he can fire off if he wants to.
Anyone will react the same way
because they didn't announce themselves. But they're saying because he shot first, then them shooting was justified. The only reason why that one guy got fired is because where he fired, it was like it had blinds. And so he was just shooting without being able to even see what was in there. That's why he got fired.
I think Megan was talking about when you were saying about the incident report, when they said it was no injuries found or nobody got hurt or
injuries
something.
found. Yeah.
I'm like, the girl is dead. That's the whole thing.
You know, like what?
Like, how does that not count for something? But you know, what do I know?
So all this to say, I feel like people say, oh, well, and it goes back to voting. How? I'll tell you. Because you need to vote for it. I think people go out there and vote for the president, vote for these big things. No, you need to vote for these little people too, because these are the judges. If you don't go vote, and I'm so sick of hearing so many people say, my vote don't matter. If 2,000 people say my vote don't matter, guess what? That's 2,000 votes that could have been out there. So your voice does matter. So for you to be like, oh, I'm just not gonna vote. These just little judges, guess what? These are the judges that are taking away freedom, that are taking away lives or giving freedom to the cops that don't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, presidential votes matter too, but you need to go out there and be voting for these little people as well, because everything matters. These are the people that determine your lives, honestly. So y'all, please, please, please vote. I've never been super like political ever. I'm just like, oh, politics is something old people talk about, but when it affects your life, literally,
yeah.
And it like literally affects how we live. So no, please, y'all, register.
Yeah. I see Chariah said that that was his home and he knows his rights. If that's the case, then why didn't they kill her boyfriend? it didn't kill him because immediately after that, they blamed him for why she died. They put it on him. So they wanted him to be alive so that somebody else could take the blame for it. And that's what they tried to do. But that ended quickly.
The whole thing is just disheartening. And let's see. Felicia, I think I'm saying it right.
Yeah, Felicia.
They have a recording of boyfriend calling the PO before he's fired. They think the recording was not submitted as evidence to the jury.
It wouldn't be. I am
surprised.
not surprised.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, there were a lot of things that they looked over and didn't take into consideration with making their decision. So, I don't know.
A load of cockamamie bull.
Huh?
I said it's a load of cockamamie bull, and it's frustrating because you don't. Well, for me, I'm gonna say me. I try to watch every single thing that I do, leaving the house, how I leave the house, who I might have over, which is nobody, because y'all are my only friends, and I don't deal with a lot of people. So this girl was just in her home, and then you have people with all these ridiculous excuses, where she shouldn't have been doing this, she shouldn't have been doing that. What was the other young man's name? In Texas last year. He just eating ice cream, mind his business. So now he can't eat ice cream in his house, mind his business.
Oh, like Boffin, Gene?
Yes. I'm like, we just don't win for anything. And now just, like Cassondra said, to shut the family up, you and give them money. It's not going to shut me up. Because if it was one of my own, I don't care what you give me. I'm not signing no NDA, nothing like that. You still killed somebody that I love near and dear, and you think that giving me 10 million, some people, sad to say, is gonna work, and they'll be like, well, they paid their dues, and now we can go and do all of this nice stuff in her honor and put a foundation. I'm not saying that it still can't be done, have a foundation under her name, but these men are still out here probably ready to kill somebody else. Hell, they probably didn't kill other people, and we don't know.
Yeah.
The guy who was fired, so okay, for those of you watching and for y'all, on Hulu, I think it's New York Times is doing different stories for every episode. And one of the episodes is based around this entire case. And so they're accounting what happened, but then also kind of giving facts about the officers. So the officer who was fired and charged with endangerment, there were several reports for him. I don't know, I guess for misconduct, like making girls feel uncomfortable, touching them, things like that. And he's still working. And this is way before this incident happened, but I feel like it just goes to show that they turned a blind eye to everything for the most part. I don't know. I really don't know what else to say about it. It's just frustrating. And I go between, I want to be informed with what's happening, and then I need a break. Like I need a mental break from the news. So I don't know about y'all.
And the last thing I was going to say was going back to what Megan said about, like, you know, how we can't even sit at home and eat our ice cream. Like, let's go back to when, like, at the beginning of the year when Ahmaud Arbery got, I'm sure, I think I pronounced his name correctly. That, you know, of course, got shot when he was like jogging down the street and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, well, like I don't know where is it that, you know, that we win, you know. So and it's just sad that this is what America has going on right now. So yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else that anyone wanted to add?
Y'all please go vote. Not saying that would, of course, make it better, but it can't. It's a start.
No, it can. You need.
Where do we?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say, people feel like, oh, we're so undefeated, and this is years on top of years on top of years of defeat. But if anything, we can at least take that step to vote for the people that are having say-sos in our lives.
I was just going to say, things have to happen at a policy level in order for bigger change to happen, honestly. Because it's great for us to have these conversations and to post in our stories and say their name. All of that is great. But we also have to do that other piece of it, which is going to vote and having a say in who's representing us and what kind of policies they're putting in place, because at the end of the day, that affects us. Prime example, the whole reason why there's no body cam footage is because that specific county said that they didn't want any. Why aren't body cams a requirement across the board?
That should be a federal thing.
Yes, in Knoxville, they had a demonstration a couple of months ago because body cams are not required here. Why not? So that's just an example. Had they had it, all of these questions would have been answered, and maybe he would have been charged. Who knows? So.
The last thing I have is, if you're in Georgia, early voting starts in October 12th, all the way up until October 30th. So, you know, if you want to go ahead and just put your poll, that's the whole early voting time period out again if you're in Georgia. So just put that out there.
And Alicia said, just remember, if you don't vote, it's a vote for Trump. Hello.
Hey.
Come on. I love that.
I registered last night. They've been playing with me here, because I still ain't get my card. I said they've been playing with me here though, because I've been asking them for a card forever, and I still ain't got it.
Okay, and also sending good energy to all the people who are out there protesting, having to get arrested, and all of those kind of things in Louisville right now, trying to like actively fight for some kind of change to happen. So transitioning with Meg and Tory. Anybody want to open that up?
Yes. Yes. I'll start. So if you guys don't know already, I'm not sure exactly like when the time period was, but a few months back, Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez was in a situation where she got shot in the foot. There had been like videos and live feeds about the situation, but recently, I think it was like this past Friday, Tory Lanez just released an album, not talking about fully of the situation, but certain songs was talking about the situation. So it was definitely, a lot of people were definitely upset because of the fact that like he's using this tragic situation to promote his music, which is definitely like a no-no. Like I don't think ever since the situation like first came out, everyone was just pretty much like giving a lot of backlash towards Tory Lanez, which is right in this situation. Because I mean, you know, based off of what we know, or based off of what has been in the media, he did shoot her in the foot. So it's kind of like, but yeah, so I'll leave the floor open for you ladies to give your feedback on what you think about the situation.
Quick side note, someone asked, what if you are out of state, I think? Sorry, hold on.
What, to vote?
What if you're out of state during your state's voting time? You can do absentee voting.
Yeah, absentee yes.
Yes, but I will also put that in here. Okay, go ahead.
You can explain that for people who might not know what that means.
So for instance, I think, I don't remember when it was, but at some point during the voting time, I was supposed to be out of the country, I think. And so I got a sheet. No, you can go online. You can go online and just type in for the form, fill it out, and mail it in for your specific state.
Yeah.
So I promise you, if you Google it, it'll take you to it, fill out the form and mail it in. They might have an option to submit it online. I don't know. I had to mail it. But that way, if you do absentee voting, you can do it before November 3rd. You don't have to wait until then to do it.
Yeah, I think certain ones have like time periods for absentee ballots, because I did it during the primary election, because of course I live in Georgia, but I was still registered in South Carolina. So I had to do it that way and just basically do the application online and then just wait to get the ballot in mail. So everything was done in mail.
Yes.
So yeah, that's how that works. So basically, like if for in her case, live out of town or got to work or military or whatever the case may be. Yeah, so that's how you vote if you, of course, can't show up to the polls.
And back.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I was
just trying to make sure I answered that before I forget.
Mm-hmm. I was just leaving the floor open for you ladies to go and give your feedback on the situation.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I got a question.
What's up?
Everybody knows I don't really follow celebrity news that much. But so okay, the album came out last Friday. Or right? Is that what you said?
That was Friday. What was it yesterday?
No, Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like you can't just, you know, write a song, throw it on an album and call it a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know she got shot like a few months ago, but do you think that was already written in and it just so happened to happen? Or do you think it's specific to that? Only because it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't write a song, write an album, and then it gets published within a few months. You know, like you still gotta go through all this, we gotta go through people, and then it releases. I'm not sure exactly how long ago she got shot either though, so.
Well, I mean, at least
Tory?
Yeah.
I'm asking.
Okay. What were you about to say?
Yeah, I was going to say for music, like, I mean, when some people make their albums, I guess depending on the artist and what they have going on with their contracts, they make their albums like prior to like months or even years, depending on the situation. So of course, like, you know, when this situation happened, maybe in his mind, he's using it as a way to kind of give his side of the story by using a couple songs in this already produced or already thought about album to like say, oh, well, this is what Megan is saying, but apparently I'm being framed, you know, and all this BS that he's saying, so, you know, or alleged
okay
up there. So that's simply how it works, because he probably was already working on the album before. Then when this happened,
oh, he just added songs, you think?
Exactly.
Like, threw that song in. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, it's too specific for this to just be a coinky dink.
Right.
He
Okay.
put it out there.
I haven't heard any of the album though, so that's why I asked about it.
No, it's not a coincidence because he called out Kalani, JoJo, J.R. Smith, all of them in there because he was supposed to be on their album, and they was like, well, with this going on, we're going to take him off. And he was like, well, they took me off of one, but not the other. So that's crazy. And he was saying, I think one of the snippet was, he was saying it's crazy how Kalani is acting on him when he held her baby and they call each other friends and all this other stuff, blah, blah. I just want y'all to tell me who shot the girl in the foot.
Right.
I'm not wasting my time. Like Tre'Dub said earlier, it was 3 people in the car. We saw Meg Stallion walking backwards. I think he was on the ground. I don't know what a friend was. Somebody asked, it was like, was it her friend that shot her? He even said, no, it was not her. I'm like, okay, so who did it?
Process of
What +1 is equal 12?
Do you know that apparently one of the songs, he says that even though he thinks that she framed him, even though she wasn't really shot, he still loves her. He still has feelings for her. Sir, there's not that much love in the world.
I'm gonna ask somebody who's watching us, if y'all are in a toxic relationship, explain that to me and how that works. Because I'm not getting it. I don't want, like, who said it earlier? Cassondra brought up Dreher. Yeah. I don't want that type of love. Don't think you're gonna shoot me in the foot and then we're gonna just go back. No.
But in all honesty, okay, as crazy as this sounds, I feel like some girls like the drama. You know what I'm saying? And not saying Megan Thee Stallion did at all, by all means, but I feel like, and I have heard some girls say, you know, or I like getting choked. You know what I'm saying? Not like sexually, but like if you arguing, you know what I'm saying? Or they like roughhousing, only because like they like to see that like aggression, like, oh, because I want to know he loves me or cares about me. You know what I'm saying? So they like that drama side of it. So they can go to their friends, oh yeah, he did this and he did that. Listen. And I think that's what Drea was saying at first too. Like, I want somebody to love me enough to shoot me in the foot. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know what my drama is?
You can have spice. Keep it behind closed doors. If you are being hurt physically and it is not pleasurable, probably not the best idea.
Do you want to know what my drama is? Throw away my plate before ask me if I'm finished. Now I'm mad.
Oh God, see.
But yeah, stuff like that, like little.
But no, that's petty. I'm not gonna physically fight you because you threw my. I'm gonna give you the silent treatment because it happened. I'm gonna give you the silent treatment. But don't think that if you choke me, that I'm gonna just be like, oh no, we were just playing. No, I'm
that's
setting
a big deal
on fire. Is what I'm doing.
Did y'all ever see that video on Facebook? This girl, she like posted, or she did a video of her house, and her boyfriend damaged everything, the walls, the mirrors, the furniture, like it was glass, literally everything everywhere. And she just was like, oh, well, this is how we get in fights sometimes, but he'll bite it back, so it doesn't matter. And I'm like, but that's not okay. So she was bragging about how toxic it was, but how good the makeup will be. And I'm like, but that's not okay. Like, you can't do some of that because then it becomes life or death. Like, it ain't that. No, I am sorry.
For those of you listening, if you are in any form of relationship, whether that be romantic, whether that be a friend, whether that be with a family member, and you do not feel emotionally, physically, mentally safe with someone, you probably want to rethink that relationship. You probably want to think about, what are my boundaries? And once I find out those boundaries, is this person crossing it? And if so, I need to address them. Because that's not cute, funny, or healthy at all.
But they got that good walk or peen or whatever. That's why they stay. I'm just telling you people. Why?
Ain't that much good walk or peen.
Oh God.
Listen, nah. That is not worth my sanity or peace of mind. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So I guess the question is that is still like in my head. Are they together? Like, or are they just close friends? Like, I don't understand.
I think he is trying to make it seem like they had something going on. I don't know if that's true or not. She's never came out and said, yeah, we were dealing with each other. He's the one trying to allude to that being a possibility, but who knows?
People have been saying it, but I mean,
of course,
I don't
like
really
they hang out and they party and they have this friendship. Then, of course, like, you know, in society, guys and girls can't be friends without them having a sexual situation. You know, like so it's like people are automatically assume that already. But I mean, if that's the case, where they're like they work together, they have a domestic violence situation going on, that's like I don't get how that's cute. I really don't. You know, like you get shot in the foot. And then of course, like, you know, most women, not all, most say that they like their guys to be aggressive. But of course there's boundaries that are being crossed once he's like putting hands on you. And then the
you can be assertive.
And this exactly, and of course, with the roles were reversed, you know, if a woman is beating a man, you know, like that's definitely not okay. It's a very toxic situation, and kind of like going to what Dashia said about, like, you know, asking those personal questions to yourself. Is this going to be good for my mental health? You know, because you have to, like, you know, go in society with bruises, or just like, or just that, like, that thought in your mind that this man is harming me. But at the end of the day, he tells you that he still loves me. So I don't know.
And I mean, and if you are a person who grew up in that kind of environment, then you are conditioned to believing that. Even if no one said, like, hey, this is love, it's learned behavior. That's what you saw. So that's what you do. That's the norm for you. That's why I said you have to really figure out, do I feel safe with this person? Emotionally,
Well, no.
physically, mentally? What?
It's also people who aren't raised in that somehow get to it, in which I don't get that either. It does make me think, like, okay, if you were raised in a family where you just seen nothing but love, you heard disagreements and arguments and stuff, but you ain't never had nobody pull, like, your daddy ain't never pulled no gun out on your mom and nothing like that. So now all of a sudden you get into a relationship and, oh, this is what love is. I'm like, how did you get that?
It can be a number of things. I'm stuttering. Your father doesn't have to physically beat on your mother for you to think, oh, abuse is okay. But also, is your daddy emotionally available to you? Can you go and talk to him about your feelings? Can he talk to you about his? Like, that's what I'm saying. It's not just the physical stuff, it's the emotional stuff too. Because there's a such thing as emotional abuse as well. Yeah. So
come through, social worker. Go ahead, Dashia.
Anyone else have anything to say about this part?
This is why we don't let her talk.
So speaking of unhealthy relationships, there have been 2 new divorces, I think, that were just filed for Cardi B and Offset, and I forgot his name for a second, and then Princess Love and Ray J. So Cardi B and Offset, they've been together for a few years, right? Like 3 or 4 years.
I think
they have a 2-year-old daughter. Okay. They have a 2-year-old daughter named Culture. And then Ray J and Princess have been together for multiple years as well. In both situations, on and off, both situations on and off, both situations cheating. Both situations they split up, got back together. and they both have little kids. Very similar. Ray J and Princess love though. She's filed for divorce. He's filed. She's filed. Now he filed again. Throw the whole thing away.
I was just about to say that. Like, it's cool that they do not take the relationship seriously. I don't know if it's like a publicity thing where they wanted, where like they make the bulk of their money. Well, I'm sure, of course, Ray J has other businesses, but they make the bulk of their money on Love and Hip Hop. Like, so they have to stay together or they have to be married so they can keep the money flowing for like TV. Like, their whole relationship, even him as a man, I just don't take him serious. Like
this is why I'm cheering. I'm cheering because didn't I tell y'all the last live that they was gonna be getting a divorce before we even ended? I think we brought them up and you was like, oh yeah, they're married. And I was like, they will be divorced again in 2 seconds.
Tomorrow.
I legit came out the shower the next day and all I heard was, and they're divorced. I'm like, see, I had no hope for it. I cheer for Cardi B because I don't like how people was trying to tear her down right now and bring in the song. They're saying, they're going in on her. She wrote that song and her WAP ain't keep him there and this, that, and the third. I'm like, but she's got her own money and he's been the one that was unfaithful. First of all, I wasn't taking him back with that apology. It's about, I'm sorry, bruh. Don't bruh me. Do not bruh me.
Like I said 5 minutes ago, there's no amount of WAP or good peen that's going to keep anybody around who doesn't want to be kept, who doesn't want to put in the work, who doesn't want to respect you. None. You heard all the nasty stuff she said in that, all the freakiness she said in that song.
All of it.
He doesn't care about that.
All of it. And of course, the main thing was like, okay, you got that walk, but you ain't cooking, you ain't cleaning, so that.
I just was about to say that. And I hate that. Like, people
that was
like,
the main thing.
She should have cooked, she should have cleaned, she could have kept him. And I'm just like, every relationship is different. Like,
no. Stop. Why is the responsibility on her?
Right.
Because it's
why is the responsibility on her? It takes 2 people to make a relationship work. She can't carry it all by herself. People irritate me.
She's supposed to make it all work for herself. They're trying to figure why she filed, and she was like, it has nothing to do, like, he didn't cheat again. I don't know. I just think she knew within herself, or probably had another inkling or whatever, that he was going to. And she was like, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and dead it before anything. And she's not even asking for no child support or nothing, because clearly she can handle herself. She's got herself. I think it was last year when somebody caught him on live. He was streaming during a game and she had called him from the distance. And as soon as he heard her voice, he had his phone and he was like trying to hide the phone. I'm like, dude, you streaming during the video. You think they're not gonna record you streaming, trying to hide your phone? And all she did was like, bae. He's over there just struggling like, I'm gonna just hide it under my thigh.
She said she was just tired of arguing. She said she was just tired of arguing all the time and just exhausted. And I'm sure the cheating did not help.
Hey, Anika, that's fine as well.
I mean, but I'm so glad she did get the courage to leak. Because I feel like a lot of the times people get in these relationships or marriages and it just be like, oh, well, we out in the public. There's hundreds of thousands of people watching us. We got to stay together, or we have to do this. And we got a little kid. We got to do this. You know what I'm saying? So I do applaud her for being like, you know, my happiness comes first. My daughter's happiness comes first. I mean, you keep all that elsewhere. So
that's a prime example of also what I just said. Culture may not have seen Offset hit her, but she's going to see these stories when she grows up. Mm-hmm. She's going to see how much he has disrespected her mama. Hopefully, she doesn't grow up and think, oh, it's okay, I'll get over it, and he'll stop eventually. He'll get better. He'll grow up. Hopefully, she doesn't do that. But that is teaching her.
You don't take this. Because then again, if she does stay, just be like, oh, well, my mommy went through all this and she stayed, so it'll get better. Or guys are supposed to be like this. No. Bye-bye.
Learn behaviors growing up. And going back to Ray J and Princess situation, they have a daughter as well. I think they have 2 kids now, if I'm not mistaken.
And a son, yeah.
They have a son. So it's like,
dang.
Yeah. So it's like, so in their cases, like Princess, she's teaching her daughter how to basically stay around in a toxic situation, because of course she's gonna, like, the daughter's gonna grow up to realize that, you know, just being together is what is gonna help the situation together. I'm like,
didn't he push her in the pool on Love and Hip Hop?
Yes, he did.
Her
that was before they were married. That was before they were married too.
So guys, I got a question. I know we talked about this in probably one of our first podcast episodes. What do you think is different between now and the older generation? You know, because I feel like Cardi's saying,
I'll tell you.
Cardi's leaving, but I feel like you, and so that was one of the comments that people said under that as well. Like, oh, our grandparents stayed together all this time. They didn't even consider divorce. And I always like having that conversation because it's like, it's a different time period. But what do you think happened? What changed? What's different?
Social media. Women are working. They don't have to depend on men. Social media lets you catch people when they are slipping and you can leave. And I think women just aren't as dependent on men financially, really, is the biggest thing. Because you have women who are out here doing their own thing. And so they don't have to stay, because there are people who stay in situations because they don't have anywhere else to go. They can't, even if they want to. And also, I think you have podcasts, you have books, you have people telling you like, hey, this is not okay. He might not be hitting you, but he's not respecting you, or he's not respecting your boundaries. And so I don't think that our generation places less value on marriage or anything. I just think maybe we're just more willing to leave. Maybe we're more able to leave. I don't know. But I don't think one is doing it better than the other. I just think we have more resources, more independent.
I was gonna say that's definitely what the main thing is resources. Like, people are actually open to going to therapy now, and people are like a lot more smarter. And like what Dashia said about, you know, women aren't financially dependent on their husbands anymore. Like, you know, people, not even just like women, just people in general as individuals are, you know, smart enough to make their own money, so that way in situations where they're in a relationship and it can go south, they're well taken care of. So like, I think like just people in general are just really smarter and knowing how to manage themselves financially, just in case if, you know, a rainy day comes, you know. So I think that's really what the difference is. And of course, the change of gender roles. So
yep, that's what I'm learning now. Even like I told y'all before, even through my daddy, he gets upset when I don't want him to do stuff. And I'm like, sir, when I leave here and I get married, what are you gonna do? Because you're not moving with me. That is a no. No, you're not going. I'm gonna have to know how to do this stuff for myself. So it's with social media now, you have people our age and younger who is watching people like Cardi B and Ray J and all of them. And it's like, oh, well, they got social status, they got this and that, so they're gonna fight for each other. No, that's not fighting for anything. You're doing it for clout and money and all that other stuff. For Cardi B, she didn't need it. That's why she's not asking him for child support, because he's got other kids. She can take care of her own. That's fine and dandy. As far as our grandparents went, I don't know how open y'all family is, but some things in my family just didn't tell me because we didn't need to know. For some
my family is kind of like that too, and I mean, like even to this day, I don't feel like I have to know now, because I've like kind of like raised myself in a way to kind of like, you know, compartmentalize those feelings. So
I know enough of what I need to know. I know
exactly
that my father's father went through and how he was like, you know what, I'm done. I don't have to do this. I know stuff with my mom's parents. No hatred, no nothing. And like they just went out here and just started blurting stuff. That's the other thing. Our grandparents, they weren't taking it to everybody and talking to everybody about stuff. They knew how to keep their business to themselves. And if they did confide in somebody, it was somebody that they could trust and actually get good advice from. Nowadays, all of this, girl, he's trash, you should leave him. All because he didn't take the trash out. Or because he came home an hour late or something. I know he was cheating, girl. You're not going to tell me that he wasn't. What are you talking about? Do you work with him? No, you don't. And even the guys, they'll get around their boys and it's just like, oh, well, she ain't doing this thing that I like. Nigga, I don't have time for this. Everything else getting done is the kids clothed and fed and washed. It's just, shut up. Everybody ain't got to be in your business. And that's where this generation messes up. Because, Cassondra, you're married. I don't know what issues y'all might have because it's none of my business. It's none of my business. I'm not coming over to attack you. I'm not attacking him. I leave y'all be. If you want us to know something, we'll put our input in, and if you're wrong, you're wrong.
Oh Lord.
Because you're my friend and I knew you longer don't mean I'm be like, oh yeah, I'm taking your side. No, you're wrong. It's your fault. You did it.
I'm weak. I'm actually glad you brought that up because now I have a question for y'all.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so this is a scenario like you and your significant other, y'all get into an argument or whatever, and I feel like we kind of talked about this before, but I want to know since we on live. So, so again, y'all get into an altercation, nothing physical, just like y'all have a disagreement about something. How, of course, it starts to get a little heated. How do you resolve it? Is it right then and there, or do you need your space and time before kind of resolving that?
Look at her face.
Now, mind you, y'all like married and like living together, so it's like y'all ain't in no little boyfriend girlfriend situation. Y'all can go home.
Not little.
Dang, Trey.
So how do y'all resolve those situations? And like I said, being married and in the same household.
Well, he gonna hit me. I'm a fuss. I'm loud. I talk. If I'm yelling and you walking away, guess who's following him down the stairs? And
Sorry, I would fight you.
The best thing because he likes his space. But I feel like if I'm talking, probably not talking, yelling. If I'm yelling and you walking away,
because you sure yelling talking. Don't lie for them.
Oh, you gonna hear me. And I feel like I yell enough to where I'm like done. And then he's the complete opposite. Like he needs his space. And then like he'll come back after, or I'll come back after I'm done yelling and be like, okay, now let's talk about this, while I'm not mad, while he's not mad. And then we'll talk about like what happened, why it made us mad, and then what we can talk about like to help it in the future. But no, in that moment, you would hear me. I'm sorry, I'm mad, and I'm not gonna stop until I feel better. Probably not the best, but
You asking all of us that, or just Cassondra?
Everybody. I'm asking all three.
Oh.
I'm gonna answer it.
I was gonna say I am not married yet, but I tend to be a person who I want to address it right then and there. Like Cassondra, I'm not gonna yell. I want to address it like right then and there. However, I tend to always end up in relationships with people who need time. So if I'm getting into a new relationship, I'm like, hey, let's do a 48-hour rule, okay? I give you 48 hours to process whatever the situation is. If you don't come to me first, then no, after 2 days, I'm coming to you so that we can talk about said issue. Because I feel I've learned that if I'm trying to make them talk to me, either they're going to say something that's going to piss me off, or we're not going to have a productive conversation. So. And they're going to feel like they couldn't get everything out because they didn't have time to process it. So I have to give them time to process, and then we can come talk about it, squash it, move on.
Y'all are looking at me and my argument right now. This is it. I do not like to argue. I do not scream.
Yeah.
I got out of character once and I realized, what the hell are you doing? It's not even necessary. It's dumb. So Cassondra, dealing with somebody like you would hate me because I'm just gonna shut down. You can be asking me questions, and I'm gonna look at you like stupid.
I'm like, excuse me, I know you.
I don't. I am that person, right? You screaming your heart, I'm over there.
Right.
Did I want a cheeseburger or do I want soul food? Because why are you yelling? It's no point. I can have a I can be upset, and I usually tell them, like, give me like an hour or so.
An hour. So okay.
I need time because I'm petty as all get out. Mm-hmm. So the best thing for me to do, this is a really, really heated thing, let me be quiet and walk off. Because if I don't, I know how to dredge up something that I know is going to hurt your feelings. Something that you probably never told nobody in life that really hits you deeply. And if you keep coming at me, I'm going to throw that at you. And now I can't believe you said that. Well, if you had just shut the hell up when I told you the first time, we could have just had a calm conversation. So I'd give time, I need space. And then afterwards, I'd be like, okay, so I remember this part happening and you said this. Now let's clarify. Is this what you meant when you said it? And if they're like, oh, well, you said it like this and this is how I took it. That's not what I meant. Sorry, you took it that way. This is how I actually meant it. If I can get to that point, I'll be fine to have a conversation. But your way, Cassondra, I would strangle you.
So okay, in all honesty, I
gonna
supposed
trade
to
it
sit
in
there and let my blood boil for an hour, or they should let it boil for 48 hours? I could keel over. Like,
Well, you gonna kill.
No, I think I've learned to like take a chill pill. That's not to say that I don't think about it, but I've just learned like if I'm making that person have a conversation with me, I'm not going to get the results I want. So I have to be patient. I can't force them. Like I have to be patient because 9 times out of 10, if I give them that processing time, they're going to come to me before the 48 hours, and it's going to be a productive conversation most of the time. Versus me forcing them to talk about it, and then either they one word me or like I said, they piss me off.
That's my other favorite one. I hate you with the one word.
Yeah.
See, and I just want to
because like okay, so in the scenario like me and Cassondra, she's sitting there screaming and all this other stuff. Okay. All right.
see, no, I just feel my blood boiling already.
Because my thing is if we're arguing and I'm trying to like especially if you come out of nowhere with the argument, like now I'm like, well, what the hell did I do? I don't even know what's happening. And now you're screaming at me. I'm like, okay, well, tell me what happened. Did I say something wrong? Did I in this generation, did I post the wrong thing? Like what happened? Did I talk to somebody I shouldn't have? What? You're constantly screaming at me. It's like, okay, so I'm just gonna push this further because you're not answering my questions. And I'm just trying to figure out what happened. Well, you did. Yep.
So I can safely
hold
say.
on. Trey didn't answer.
Sorry, Trey.
He's been waiting patiently.
Oh, little thing. I'm so sorry, my little lamb.
It's okay. So I'm kind of on the same boat with Megan. I'm not a yeller. I'm not I'm not an argumentative type of person. Now, of course, I will address the situation, but I definitely need time to like process my thoughts so that way it doesn't come off a certain way that it shouldn't. A wise man once told me. A wise man once told me, like, if you're having a disagreement with your significant other, you have to consider the fact that are you in a good place to address the situation head on, and also if the person who you're talking to is in a place to receive that information. Because it's kind of like if you're just arguing and yelling back and forth, you're not resolving anything because, like Megan said, I'm gonna just sit there and just be like, okay, cool. Yeah, until you shut up. So you can get as mad, you can get even more mad with me, and I'm gonna just sit there and just like, yeah, the out of you until you shut up. Because like I said, me personally, I have to process things. It may not take me 48 hours, but I need I need some time to like actually think about my words because I don't want to be petty. I don't want to say things that's going to intentionally hurt you. I really don't want to do that, especially like if I love you and like and we're in a situation where we're married or hypothetically whatever. But like I want to address the situation head on because going back and forth, I don't do that. I hate doing that. It's stressful. It's heartbreaking. It's like it really is. So like I would rather have my moment to process everything. And honestly, sometimes I even have to write it down because I'll forget it.
Oh, I like that.
I don't argue with my own siblings.
It
make me mad. I'm just looking at you like, are you done?
I've done it before in a previous relationship of mine. Yeah, that I actually had to like put down all my feelings into like paper or like on phone or whatever, and just talk and say what bothered me. And I mean, it definitely helped with the situation. So yeah, I'm definitely the type that needs time. So yeah.
I don't like that screaming process because it's like you just going. It's like a double Dutch effect of waiting. Oh, so you said this, so this is what I'm going to say about this. Like I said so much
rebuttal.
Before and after that, like you just took that one thing that really had nothing to do with nothing, just to argue and scream at me. Just because you loud don't make you right.
Okay.
I'm that type.
So that's what my mom told me.
I've said that so many times.
It's funny because it makes it worse. People have gotten so pissed at me because they're legit screaming in my face, yelling down at me, and I'm just like, I'm supposed to be scared because you're yelling? No, that's not happening. So, that's not happening at all.
Random question. And I also put this in the box. Like, if y'all have any topics or questions y'all want to talk about, debate, please put them in there. So these past, or the 2 divorces that we're talking about, cheating was involved. My question is this: is flirting cheating? And if so, what kind of flirting is cheating? Because in my head, if you're doing something that you would not do in front of whoever you're dating, then it might not be cheating, but it's still disrespectful. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like on social media, for example, you post a thirst trap in your stories and somebody clicks on it and put heart eyes on it. You can't control what that person sends to you, but you can control what you say.
You
So
can't
like,
the response.
right. So if you send back a smirky face, to me, that's inappropriate. Not cheating, but inappropriate, if that makes sense. So is flirting cheating? And if so, like what kind of flirting is cheating?
All of it.
Really? Ooh.
All.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna say like this. Seeing as I'm trying to do like the whole like writing thing, and I'm trying to like branch out with this and some of my own projects, I have to be more outgoing, but I know where to draw the line. So if somebody's just like coming to me and like, oh, I read your book and I read this part, and it made me think, and it's like, oh, stop, thank you. I appreciate you supporting me. I don't want to go into those conversations because that's not really me writing that, but it is. But okay. I was just wondering, what do you do? Nope, I don't do nothing. I don't do nothing at all. Do not, I'm gonna say this without snitching or telling on the person. You can compliment somebody, but do not take it far.
Don't overdo it.
You're not gonna be with me and talk about you got a work wife or work husband or whatever. No. I'm over here. One is enough.
That's how things happen, though. That's how things happen because you're like, this is my work husband, and then you go to them with your issues. You
What's
get
up,
that emotional
Shalia?
connection. It leads to other things. So
Like, no, I don't do this. So like I clown with y'all and I'm like, oh girl, you cute, best friend. Look at you with your muscles and everything, beard game. Here you go with the lawn flip. I'm like, okay, it's cool. But if you're the type of person that feel like you just have to have attention from people, and no, because don't worry about them. I just be playing with them and you caressing their face, I will punch you.
Now we just discussed this before, Megan. We don't condone physical violence.
I haven't hit anybody in any of my relationships. I haven't done that. I'm more of a verbal
The
person.
people of YBM chat do not condone any type of domestic violence of
I
any
just
We do not. And also answer this in the chat box too. Like, is flirting cheating in the chat box?
Shalia
Yes or
said
no?
definitely inappropriate. Mindy said yes, and giving attention that should be reserved for your partner. So again, like that whole, don't be out here telling people, or like if you go to work, is my dress riding up in the back? You should have checked that before you left.
But
don't
see, I don't think
you get
that
to work to hit
cheating,
that.
though.
No, it's the way that
cheating.
they do it. Because especially if you know that somebody that's into you or something, like don't just, like I said, you give somebody a compliment, but when you just keep overriding it, oh my God, your hair, you got night, like for Trey or something, you go to work, oh my God, your muscles is doing the most, and your eyes and all of this other stuff. And it's like, okay, cool. Then next thing you know, especially him being a single dude, now he go out and try to talk to this person, and now they come out to like a work function. This is my husband. Like, well, where did he come from? You was just talking about my biceps yesterday. Now my feelings is hurt.
Yeah.
Trey.
I
think brought you up.
Right. I think that is very inappropriate and disrespectful for the reason that, to me, you just said, here, you're giving attention to the wrong person. Like, especially like going back to your point where, if you're on social media and people leave like hard eyes, you can definitely control the narrative of the situation. You can control the response and let them simply know what's going on. Because at the end of the day, a relationship to me is about respect. Respect me, and I'll do this. Respect me, and I'll do the same for you. So I wouldn't say that it's necessarily cheating, but it definitely is very disrespectful, which could lead to me like definitely moving your ass. So so yeah, it's definitely very disrespectful in my opinion. Especially like with social media being like one of the main causes for breakups these days. So yeah.
Hello.
Very disrespectful.
Cassondra.
Okay, so I guess I didn't think about it like how you guys are thinking about it. I guess social media, yeah. Like you said, somebody posts that and you send something back, then yeah. Or even like inboxing you or like messaging, you know what I'm saying? Like I get random people messaging me all the time. it gets deleted, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't respond because then it's like, what's the point, you know? But when you think, well, when I think about flirting, I think about like in person, or say I'm in the store, like I feel like it's not cheating if I like a guy's like cologne or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's just like if he comes to me and say, oh, I like your dress. Thank you. You leave it at that. We're not, it's not cheating. I mean, I guess it's not really flirting. And then I guess it's a fine line between flirting and being nice or giving compliments too. So maybe that's a personal thing too, because some people might feel like, oh, they're being extra super nice to this person. They're flirting, which is the person could just be like, I was just giving them a compliment. Or even at the bar, like say you're drinking with this person and it's like, oh, I love the cologne you have on. What is it? You know what I'm saying? Like you can flirt without cheating. I guess, I don't know. I guess it's not really flirting though. It's just being nice, having a conversation. I think it's how the person takes it, honestly. Because I can be friendly with somebody.
You can't control that either, though.
Yeah.
I said you can't control that either. Go ahead, Trey.
I was just going to say, like, we're all adults here. So we've all flirted with someone, and we, of course, have been flirted on or whatever. So I feel like as us being like, 25 and up years old or whatever, we definitely know when someone is trying to haul at them. Like, whether it be in person or social media, so don't try to like dance around the subject or dance around like why this person is talking, oh, that's just my friend, well, we play like that. No, like you should understand that this is very disrespectful, especially if someone is telling you that they don't like that and you continue to do it. That's where the problem is, you know?
So, and I feel like it's up to that person to say, so, okay, for example, if I'm in a store and the guy's like, oh, I like my dress, I'll make it a point to say my husband bought it for me. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like I don't try to hide that fact. So only, and I know, Dashia, I see your face, but it's not even to be like, oh, well, she's giving me compliments, like letting you know this cannot and will not go any further because, you know, I have somebody, you can compliment me till the moon comes home, but you won't, you know what I mean? Like it's not gonna go any further than that. Maybe that's why, because it's a real fine line between both.
I think that we would all be kidding ourselves if we pretended like we didn't appreciate a compliment here or there, even
everybody does.
If it's not from your significant other. Because I think, okay, somebody can compliment you, you cannot be interested in them whatsoever. But the fact that they compliment you, you're like, oh, okay. Like you might be feeling yourself a little more that day.
Yeah.
But I don't feel, you cannot control how that person feels. Like I said, you can only control your behavior. Now, what you said, if the person says, oh, nice dress, and you're like, my husband bought it for me. It's almost like you're assuming that person is hitting on you when they could have just been giving you a compliment.
They could have just been being nice.
No, but I'm saying, oh, thank you so much. And okay, guy or girl, even if my coworkers or something, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I like this. Thank you. In response, you know, this person bought it for me. Or, you know what I mean? So it's just like, that's just how I think of it. And I can't say, oh, I'm thinking everybody who gives me a compliment is hitting on me. But the reverse way, I can't assume that every time I compliment somebody, they think I'm hitting on them too. It's just being friendly. It goes both ways, you know?
Yeah.
Well, one, I still believe I don't know how to flirt. I know somebody's gonna say yes, you do.
Aww.
I really don't think I do. I can't just be talking.
Scorpios are natural flirty people.
Stop bringing up the sign. I literally don't know.
Yeah, y'all. Especially on November station. Go ahead.
Wow.
Whatever.
I am a Southern baby, born and raised around older people, because that's stuff that my daddy does. He's just a, hey, sweetheart, how you doing? All this other stuff. That's me. That's what I've been around. Sometimes I don't know when people flirting with me, and everybody was like, you know, they was flirting with you, right? And I was like, for real? I didn't get that. I'd be so lost because I don't care. Now I do take compliments, but from I'm weird with compliments. I really don't know how to take them because I can literally be dressed like this. You fine? I'm like,
yeah, thanks. I know.
Anyone else have anything to put in with this question? Okay, so two things. We could do the virtual thing, or I saw a post that Cassondra made on Snapchat. You said something about women, it being hard for women to support other women, pretty much.
Oh, you watched my
I just saw that. So do that, or do we want to do the virtual as like an ending one?
We can do both. They're really interesting.
We trying to be.
I think we'll be dragging it on.
Let's do one.
Yeah, that's why I said do one or the other.
We can talk about the virtual thing only because so many people are dealing with it. Parents and teachers and the kids themselves.
Do we have parents on this chat?
Yes.
That are doing virtual schooling?
Well, I don't know. In general, yeah.
That's why I was asking that question, because of that.
I ain't got nobody.
I mentioned earlier about, well, your little sister, did you?
Yeah.
I want to see. I would definitely want to see, like, in reality, how's it going, other than what's on the media.
I done seen so many posts about teachers saying they done see parents either smoking or naked or, downstairs because like they either forget or don't really care that the kid is doing virtual school. But
I mean, that's a lot of stuff, because even with me with this on right now, if I was doing the virtual schooling like they doing, don't tell me how to dress, tell me it's a school code, because my nigga, we ain't in school.
But then I feel like you can't come out there in no braless nightgown and the bonnet.
Well, no,
ready for school. I'm
not saying that either. I'm saying you can still put on clothes, but you have people that literally will put on the hoodie. Like, you got to realize y'all are not in the same environment. You don't know people's circumstances, if they need the air on for this, that, and the third or whatever. And now you're going to suspend them and write them up for having on a hoodie.
Yeah.
I saw somebody on TikTok that said that he was like, I thought people was playing around until I actually got written up for it. Mind you, I'm the only person. He's like, he was the only person with his camera on. He got mad to me. Well, tell Ashley and all them to turn their camera on. But you got a bonnet on their head. I'm like, you got a point. He's got a point. But it's a hoodie. So when was hoodies gang school?
So I am actually now working in 2 middle schools. And so I work with kids who are in person, and then I work with kids who are virtual. The kids who are virtual, a lot of technical issues, which one can imagine. So I've had a couple of kids who they have, in Tennessee, they have something called a Chromebook. I don't know if South Carolina has it, but they do it on Microsoft Teams, whatever. So a couple of kids who can't get it to work, or it's broken, or Wi-Fi issues, have missed multiple days, which means they have Fs in their classes.
No.
And I don't know how they're going to make it up. I don't know if they can make it up. Yeah, so there's that. And then I feel like there have been a lot more reports to DCS. I have made a few. So I don't know.
What is DCS?
Like CPS or DSS, Child Protective Services. Because you do have kids who are stuck in situations where it's not safe for them, or they don't have the resources that they need. I don't know.
Okay, this is gonna be a really stupid question. Sorry in advance. How do they know everybody had internet to do virtual? I know it was optional. You could either do virtual or go back to school. But people who weren't comfortable enough sending their kids to school, did they provide like internet for the families? Like, I know they provided Chromebooks and laptops and stuff, but what about if they honestly were terrified of COVID and they wanted their kids to go virtually?
Here, I think there were a few. So here, if your kids got free or reduced lunch, then they would help out with Wi-Fi costs.
Oh, wow.
But I think that's about it. But there are a lot of parents who can't afford, even if they wanted their child to stay home, they can't afford to do that because they have to go to work. So they have to send their kids to school. And that's just what it is. That's why another reason to vote, because if we can get a vaccine, we can wrap this on up and go back out into the world without masks or socially distancing.
Well,
man, the mask was breaking me out.
If people follow the rules and stuff, we wouldn't have that issue either, because it just act like social distance and all the other stuff isn't the thing either. Which I don't know why people feel like they got to be all up on you in the line in the store.
Like back
like
up.
Stop breathing on the back of my neck.
You already know Atlanta, people don't listen to it.
Oh no, y'all had picnics and everything.
Picnics,
Corona parties
and stuff.
Guilty. But yeah, it's definitely true.
So, are we talking about that, or are we wrapping it up?
I mean, I got a
More
few.
people are coming at this point.
So, I'm curious about her posts because I don't be watching Cassandra snaps because she be saying random stuff. Listen, I don't watch nobody's snaps. Don't get offended. I tap.
Pretty much what I remember, or you can say it. It's your page. I mean, it's your thing.
So I said I never understood females hating on each other at all or being jealous of each other. I said I'll go out my way to tell another female she's beautiful or I like what she's wearing or whatever. And it's not hating or anything. And if she has something that I like or that I want to have, then I would ask her how she got there or got that, and I would work hard for it myself. And I feel like too many times it's like, oh, I don't want to compliment them. I feel like people feel like if they give attention to somebody else, it takes away from who they are. Or like, I understand it can be insecure, but me telling another female she's pretty doesn't make me any less pretty. You know what I'm saying? And I've heard like personally, some people be like, oh, I'll say, where'd you get your dress? I don't want to tell you because I don't want you to get the dress from the same place I got my dress from.
I've heard
How
that.
petty is that? That's childish. We're not 2 years old. If you like that dress, that doesn't mean you won't look good too. We'll just look good together. Like, I don't understand that. So that's what that post was pretty much about.
Trey, do you feel like that's exclusive to women, or you feel like men do the same thing? Like they don't compliment each other. They're very secretive about the things they're doing or getting. They don't shout each other out with businesses.
I feel like now definitely first I would say they compliment each other based off of like more so like businesses as opposed to like, you know, personality or looks or whatever.
Okay.
Of course, you know, like, you know how in any moment a guy could be, you know, just accused of being homosexual for like sleeping or drinking or acting for in the water. So, you know, but to answer your question, I think it's more so about like supporting like businesses, just like not even just about like men in general, but just like African Americans. So it's like, you know, but yeah, like I said, to answer your question, this is more so about like supporting like businesses as opposed to, you know, looks and stuff like that. Because, you know, most guys are going to be, you know, accused of calling the, you know what. So yeah. But what I will say that I don't think it's as competitive as women at all. When it comes to guys, definitely not. I mean, shoot, most guys, you know, they shop at the same place. They like, as far as like, you know, with most guys that wear the same Jordans or whatever the case may be. So it's not really like a competition when it comes to guys at all. So yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's just how we've been socialized to be, like to compete, especially when it comes to looks. And who's the prettiest and who has the best hair and who dresses the best and who gets the guy and all that stupid stuff. I don't know. I am not very expressive in general towards people as far as like, I'll say, oh, I like your hair or I like your outfit. But when it comes to social media, I'll be honest, on Facebook or Instagram, if it's somebody we went to school with, but we weren't necessarily close friends, I might like their picture. Like genuinely their hair, their outfit, I won't comment that. I'll just like the picture itself, if that makes sense. But for me, it's less about the fact that it's another woman. It's just, would that be weird for them, for me to comment? I don't know why I think that way, but I do. Like, would that be weird if I comment on this person's page, oh, I like your hair, your outfit, if we've never really had a conversation? We went to the same high school, but we weren't friends, you know?
Weird at all.
I don't know. I know, but in my mind, I think that way, and I don't know why. So,
Megan, how do you feel?
I'm back and forth, like how Dashia says, with the liking of the pictures. There are people I haven't really talked to like that. Whether it be in high school or whatever, I still like the picture, and sometimes I will comment and be like, yo, dope picture, or whatever the case is, and kind of leave it at that. I don't go full blown into details. As far as businesses go, I really think, like Trey said, that women are more into that whole I don't really want you to be in my circle type thing. because that's all I've been seeing on social media as of lately. It's like you want to support people and what they got going on, and the minute you ask like, hey, how do I, get put on because I'm on the same line and stuff. Well, I had to work hard to get where I'm at, and that's that. And I'm like, why would you get nasty? I just asked you one question. That's all I did. I asked you one question. I didn't ask you to give me your full, play by play on what it was you was doing. I just want to know like one simple step, because they don't want nobody. But the main ones I've been seeing is like hairstylists and people that want to do clothes. And it's like, girl, I just want to know, like, especially now during all of this stuff that's going on, if you're in my area, how are you able to go through and get your business license and find your place and all this other stuff? I'm not telling you to give me all of your clients and give me your logo for everything. I just want to know like one simple thing, and it's like a big blow up. As far as support goes, it becomes worse because you get the people that comment back to you all nasty. Like the one I saw, the girl was just asking like, hey, I would like to get this done to my hair. Do you think you have this type of time? Well, you could have said good morning, and I don't do that, and I don't want to do this and this. I said, well, girl, you don't want the business.
So many posts like that.
Like, you don't want the business and all this. And I'm like, girl, she don't really know you like that personally to ask you about your day. And I feel like even if she did, you would have got pissed off. I don't know you. Why you asking
it's
about
not genuine.
Yeah. And all this other stuff.
Maybe going off of what you said, Meg, maybe we as Black people need to be better about nepotism, meaning that you're able to put people on that because that's the only way for us to get into spaces that we want to get into. If all of us have this mentality of I'm number one, just me, then when you look around, you won't see people that look like you because you refuse to help. And it doesn't mean you're giving out handouts. It means you're giving an opportunity, maybe
help,
or giving people advice on how to, better their business, podcast, hair, whatever. That irritates me. And Shalia said that is not weird. Thank you.
Yeah.
As far as commenting on people's pictures.
I'm glad y'all brought up the businesses too, because when I started my business, I literally had 7 people inbox me and ask how that process went. And I went through step by step with each and every person about how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Even one girl wanted to babysit too, and she even said, well, I know that's what you're doing. I'm not trying to take your business. And I didn't see it as taking my business. I'm only one person. I'm babysitting. You can babysit too. I mean, but just because I'm doing something you're doing, it does not take away from the fact that we can be both good at this. So it's like, I'm going to help as many people as possible because like Dashia said, I'm not number one. I can't be number one by myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I would want people to all be great too. And I saw this post on Facebook about the bread company, and it was like, if you think, what does it say? Something about if you think there's other competition out there, something like that, look down the bread aisle, and there's like 10 different, companies of bread. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
if you have this idea, don't think that you're the only person with this idea or something, because everybody's going to do it different. You got Wonder Bread, Natural Valley.
And people go to different breads for different things. You know what I'm saying? I know it sounds ridiculous, but people might go to different things. So even like a photographer, like Trey's a photographer, okay, they might go to him for something they don't want to go to somebody else for, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So just because you're great doesn't mean other people can't be great too. So I think the mentality is we need to better each other, like lift everybody up together. There's no competition. I tell people that all the time. Only person I'm in competition with is myself. From who I was last year or 2 years before, I need to be better than myself, not anybody else.
Speaking of supporting people, because I know we have people watching, I am here for all of the makeup videos. For all of the makeup tutorials.
I can't do the lick, but I want to.
Like myself, because y'all are closer to my complexion than these random YouTube girls. And so it's more realistic for me to go and say, oh, such and such use A, B, and C. Let me go buy this from Target or Walmart or whatever.
But they be taking me when you put them foundations in my face. So this is the color that I use.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I've seen Shalia do makeup videos, Deanna do videos. I don't know who else.
Yeah,
they do it so fast.
They do really, really great.
They be doing that so fast. I use this color. Okay, so you just pour it.
I mean, like, I didn't get a chance to read it yet.
But this is the color you use for this, and the color be this. I'm like, girl, I am not golden. That's not for me.
Oh, my uncle is in this. Shockingly, he said, "When you're in competition with yourself, it's because you don't believe that there's any competition for you." That's just my opinion.
Well, let me
Maybe.
So I
read that again.
Let me read that again.
Hey, Uncle, how are you? When I said
When
that,
you're
I
in
see it
competition,
as, I see it as
go ahead.
I'm not in competition with other people, meaning I want to lift everybody up. I'm not saying there's not competition out there. I'm not in competition with other people because I don't want to fight with people. I want to lift everybody up together. If we can all be together, then I'm my own competition. Not saying I'm better than anybody or there's no competition, but I want to be great for me. I want us all to be great for their individual person. Does that make sense? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Tre'Dub, you wanted to say something, then I'll go.
Yeah, what I was gonna say that ever since I moved to Atlanta, like, of course, there's a lot of like Black-owned businesses here between hair, restaurant owners, makeup, like, you know, guys, men who like are barbers, and they uplift each other, and this
like
is remarkable. That's why everyone says Atlanta is like Wakanda. Yeah, it's like everyone here, as far as African Americans, are flourishing in their businesses, and like I have friends of my own who are like who have podcasts, you know. So it's like we always are building each other up, and it feels better that way. Because honestly, I hate competition. I'm not a competitive person whatsoever. I hate it. It's too much energy. It's too much. It really is. So it's like, you know, of course, like Cassondra said, you can learn something from somebody, how to make, how Mr. Hawkins said, to build your level of confidence, you know? So I think the best way to kind of like, you know, help yourself is to ask questions, you know? Someone out there that's doing the same business as you may know something that you don't, and vice versa.
Yep, so, and I'm on the...
I agree with Felicia's comment too in here.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I'm on the other side of Cassondra with as she's giving people advice. For me and everything I had going on, I've messaged a lot of people asking them like, hey, I've seen you've got your page and this is the type of stuff you're doing. I was wondering if I could talk to you about this and third. I'll see them open it. And at times I had that thought, well, they're probably a busy person, so I'll let it, you know, I'll wait for a bit. Sometimes I'll reach out again, they'll read it again and nothing. I'm like, I don't even really know you like that. I've listened to your work and all this. Like I had somebody, when we first said we were going to start this, I asked them out of curiosity. I was like, hey, I was just wondering, how did you get your platform started or get it to be shared through Spotify and things like that? And it was just like a quick, oh, I looked it up online. You can pull it up too. And I'm like, okay, you don't have to say it like that. I mean, maybe what I saw wasn't what got you to where you're at. So I don't know why you're acting like that at all. So now I'm like, do I even want to support you at this point since you're just so nasty about things? I ask people like, how do y'all mix the episodes and how do you do this, that, and the third? And it's like, oh, well, it's all online. I'm like, bruh, I just want you to just give me a snippet. I'm not telling you to give me all of your secrets of how you blend them and all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm not asking that. As far as my aunt said, you can clearly see that here, especially out there on like, well, I'm not going to just say Stall Road. I've lived in this area majority of my life, and it's right up here across from Lambs Elementary, this big building. So many people went in and out of that building for churches, and they didn't keep it. Now it's a Hispanic church, and they've built it up to where it is now because they stick together. People laugh at them, oh, all y'all living in that one house and this, that, and the third. I'm like, bro, they bringing their money together, and they going to shovel it back out to their family, and y'all can make jokes, or they can do them, but bring their family over here from somewhere else. Yeah, they're gonna help them. You have people from like African descent, well, not African descent, but like Africa and all that. They're coming here using our educational systems and then taking it back to their people so that they can do better. It's just a certain group of people that just want to be so selfish. Like I've seen so many people from school that's doing like their plates and everything. I'm like, okay, cool. I said, I didn't even know half of y'all could cook. I'm not gonna lie, but I see him on there. And I'm like, hey, you got yourself going. You got a whole business plan. At the time, if I had the money to get it, I'll go ahead and order it. But I don't got it right now. And my mama cooking, so I ain't about to waste my money. So it is what it is. I'm not gonna be like, oh well, she's doing soul food and she's doing crab legs, so why are you doing both? It'll make no sense. Girl, you probably add a seasoning I never had before. I'm not gonna tell you not to do it. So just because she did, well, I already had this covered with seafood. Girl, you are not the only person that can cook seafood. It's not just you. Now, don't be out here doing the ridiculous stuff and want to do seafood and hair and I was sick. Focus on one thing.
Lord. All right.
No, I'm just saying, like, don't tell me I'm cooking your food and then I come in, you cooking my food and doing somebody's hair in the same vicinity. Like, let's just separate the two a little bit here and just kind of give a breather.
Anyone else have any other? What did you say?
I said you could be multifaceted, but just be safe about it.
Yes.
Yeah, that part.
To bring it all together. So
I guess what you can gather from this conversation, and if you just join, once it's done, you can always watch it. Go out and vote. Support each other. And honestly, as you know, we have a lot going on in the world. So if you need to, like, take a break, whatever that looks like. I know people have kids, people are married, people have things going on, but try to find time to have a peace of mind, I would say. And join us next Monday, because next Monday will be our first episode of season 3 of YBM Chat. If you are not subscribed to our YouTube page, you should do that now. I just put the link in the chat box. But you can also listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can follow us on Instagram. We're at YBM Chat. Facebook, obviously, you are here now. So you can go to the page and like us and comment if you enjoyed this. Hang on, I feel like I'm leaving somebody out.
Carmelo just commented on what we said.
Oh, okay. Do y'all have anything else to add?
I have one last thing to say to kind of bring everything that we've talked about all together. So long story short, y'all, respect. That's like a big thing that I am for, like 100%. Like whether it's relationships or just friendships or, you know, helping your friend or helping someone who's also a business owner like you, respect each other. You know, that's like, of course, like, you know, us as African Americans, we have to definitely, like, you know, be collaborative or just like work together in oneness. So, you know, let's continue to build each other up and just simply, the big R word, respect each other. So yeah, that's all I have.
Beautiful.
So again, join us next Monday for our very first episode. And I agree with you, Carmela. I just read your comment. All right. Okay.
So you don't want to yell before we?
Oh, I get a chance to. Bye, y'all. See y'all next Monday.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Not the
comment, subscribe, and don't forget to gas us up or whatever.
Yeah, especially that last part or whatever.
Okay.